Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the third part of Buried Treasure, the story I started a couple days ago. We're not gonna finish it today because it's kind of long story. It consists of 4 parts, and we will do this tomorrow. But let's just get today's job done. Um. So I was pretty sure we would get that $300,000. Lee Randall's was to be only 1/3 because I was paying all the expenses. With that $200,000, I knew I could find May Martha Magnum if she was on Earth. And with it, I could flutter the butterflies in Old Man Magnum's Dovecut. Dovecut, too. If I could find that treasure. But Lee and I established camp across the river were a dozen little mountains, densely, densely, densely covered by cedar breaks, but not one shaped like a pack saddle, some kind of saddle. That didn't deter us. Deter. Appearances are deceptive. A pack saddle, like beauty, may exist only in the eye of the beholder. I and the grandson of the treasure examined those cedar-covered hills with the care of a lady hunting for wicked flea. We explored every side, top, circumference, mean elevation, angle, slope, and concavity of every one for 2 miles up and down the river. We spent 4 days doing so. Then we hitched up the Ron and the Dun. Ron and the Dun. Dun. And hauled the remains of the coffee and bacon that 149 miles back to Concho City. Lee Randall chewed much tobacco on the return trip. I was busy driving because I was in a hurry. As shortly as could be after our empty return, Goodloe Banks and I forgathered in the back room of Snyder's saloon to play dominoes and fish for information. I told Goodloe about my expedition after the buried treasure. If I could have found that $300,000, I said to him, I could have scored and sifted the surface of the earth to find May Martha Magnum. She is meant for higher things, said Goodloe. I shall find her myself, but tell me how you went about discovering the spot where the underneath increment was imprudently buried. Imprudently buried. I told him in the smallest detail. I showed him the draughtsman's sketch of the distances marked plainly upon it. After glancing over it in a masterly way, he leaned back in his chair and bestowed upon me an explosion of sardonic, superior, collegiate laughter. Well, you're a fool, Jim, he said, where he could speak. It's your play, said I, patiently fingering my double six. 20, said Goodloe, marking two crosses on the table with his chalk. Why am I a fool? I asked. Buried treasure has been found before in many places. Because, said he, in calculating the point on the river where a U-line would strike, you're neglected to allow for the variation. The variation, there would be 9 degrees west. Let me have your pencil. Goodloe Banks figured rapidly on the back of an envelope. The distance from north to south of the line run from the Spanish mission, said he, is exactly 22 miles. It was run by a pocket compass, according to your story, allowing for the variation. The point on the Alameda River, where you should have searched for your treasure, is exactly 6 miles and 945 yards farther west than the place you hit upon. Oh, what a fool you're, Jim. Where is the variation that you speak of? I asked. Tonight figures never lied. I I I thought figures never lied. The variation of the magnetic compass, said Goodloe, from the true meridian. He smiled in his superior way, and then I saw come out in his face a singular, eager, consuming cupidity of the seeker after buried treasure. Sometimes as he said, with the air of the oracle, these old traditions of hidden money are not without foundation. Suppose you let me look over the paper describing the location. Perhaps together we might. The result was that Goodloe Banks and I, rivals in love, became companions in adventure. We went to Chico by stage from Huntersburg, the nearest railroad town. In Chico, we hired a team, drove in a covered spring wagon, and camping par paraphernalia. We had the same surveyor run out our distance, as revised by Goodloe and his variation, and then dismissed him and sent him on his homeward road. It was night when we arrived. I fed the horses and made a fire near the bank of the river and cooked supper. Goodloe would have help, but his education had not fitted him to practical things. Practical things. But while I worked, he cheered me with the expression of great thoughts handed down from his dead ones of old. He quoted some translation from the Greek at much length. Anacreon, he explained. That was a favorite passage with Miss Magnum, as I recited it. She is mean for higher things, said I, repeating his phrase. Can there be anything higher, asked Goodloe, than to dwell in the society of the classics, to live in the atmosphere of learning and culture? You have often the decried education. What of your wasted efforts through your ignorance of simple mathematics? How soon would you have found your treasure if my knowledge had not shone on your error? We'll take a look. We'll take a look at those hills across the river first, said I, and see what we find. I'm still doubtful about variations. I have been brought up to believe that the needle is true to the pole. The next morning was a bright June 1. We were up early and had breakfast. Goodloe was charmed. He recited. Keats, I think it was, and Kelly or Shelley, while I broiled the bacon. We were getting ready to cross the river, which was little more than a shallow creek there, and explore the many sharp peaked, cedar-covered hills on the other side. My God, Ulysses, Ulysses. My God, Ulysses, it could be Uli. You, Ulysses. Okay, Ulysses, said Goodloe, slapping me on the shoulder while I was washing the tin breakfast plates. Let me see the enhanced enchanted document once more. I believe it gives directions for climbing for the hill shaped like a pack saddle. I never saw a pack saddle. What is it like, Jim? Score one against culture, said I. I will know it when I see it. Goodloe was looking at old Rundle's document when he ripped out a most uncolle- uncollegiate swear word. Come here, he said, holding the paper up against the sunlight. Look at that, he said, laying his finger against it. On the blue paper, a thing I had never noticed before, I saw stand out in white letters the word and figures. Malvern, 1888. What about it? I asked. It is the watermark, said Goodloe. The paper was manufactured in 1888. The writing on the paper is dated 1863. This is a palpable fraud. Oh, I don't know, said I. The Randalls are pretty reliable, plain, uneducated country people. Maybe the paper manufacturers tried to perpetrate a swindle. Perpetrate a swindle. And then Goodloe Banks went as wild as his educational permitted. He dropped the glasses off his nose and glared to me. Alright, guys, we're gonna finish this story tomorrow and see you there. Bye. Thanks.